Morning, everybody. This is Bruce Jones from the How to Publish Your Book Facebook group, and I'm coming in this morning to do another of my Q&A broadcasts. So I just decided to put this in. These are questions that come in from when people sign into the group. These are sort of their key questions, and I ask them to just give me those three answers to the three questions I put up. What are you looking for? What kind of information are you doing? What are you currently doing? And it's a great way to sort of see what's going on in the group, and it's a great way to get some questions. So I thought I'd just come in this morning and answer those. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below so I can check that, make sure that is up. And so if you're on the Facebook group, it'll be right there. So let's see, there's my stream. So it's coming up right there. So you can put the comments below right there. Also, give us a like. This is also streaming on YouTube. So love you to subscribe to my channel. Give us a like. It all helps to kind of get the videos and the information out for everybody. So that's all there. You can put that there and we'll just watch that. And I can put the comments up on the screen. So, all right, so let's just dive in. Let me come back over here and start with our first question. Let's see. So this came in from Virginia, and it's, let me get my little banner up here, show you that. Okay. So where do I start? Do I need an agent or go straight to publishing? Specifics about my genre and how to move forward. So this is a good question that pretty much people who are starting out with publishing always have this kind of a question. Let me get this over here. And so there's really two paths that you can go. The traditional path, which is to go to a traditional publishing house, which is how we always sort of did it and how authors got published, or the whole new way we do it, which is self-publishing, which is just sort of taken over, especially for new authors or any authors, or even established authors, if you want to have control over your publishing. So to go to the traditional route, you generally need to have an agent. And so you don't go to the publishing houses, you go to an agent and you look for an agent, and the agent is what takes your book to the publisher. This can be a long road. There's no doubt about it, and maybe not even a successful road. It takes a long time to get that to happen. You have to attract the attention of an agent, and then they have to move on to the publishers and try to see if they can sell it. They're looking for books that are going to sell. So if you have a large audience, you're a prominent person, you're well established in your field, you might have better luck at doing that. But if you're just sort of a regular person like me or you or most of the people, trying to find a publisher is going to be a very difficult, if not impossible task. Can be done, and especially if you are in sort of some niches where you are maybe an expert in that niche, or you go to specialty publishers, might be a great way to get started. I'm a big supporter of the self-publishing route, and that's the route I have gone, and most of the people that are in the How to Publish a Book Facebook group, right here in this group, let me just right there, our How to Publish group have gone the self-publishing route. It's super easy to do. You can get your book published very, very fast. You can be worldwide distribution. You can get more royalties. So why do I like self-publishing? Well, first of all, you can do it and you're not going to be denied. You can publish a book. There are no gatekeepers in the way of saying you can't publish a book. So you will be a published author. You do need to do the work, but even with a lot of publishers, you still need to do the work. So you'll have to create your book, which is not very difficult, especially if it's just a standard book. You can just use Microsoft Word, or I use InDesign to create my books. It's not that difficult a process. You have more royalties. You can determine what your royalties are going to be. The standard royalty on publishing is 70 cents to $1. My royalties are around $2.50, $3.50 a book. If I want more royalties, I can just increase the price. You have, and this I think is one of the most important things, you have control over your content. So what does that mean? When you go to a regular publisher, they have control over the content. They're the ones who are doing it. They're determining what's going to happen to it, where it's going to go, how it's going to be treated. With self-publishing, you have control. So you can publish your book in multiple formats. There's nobody going to tell you can't do something, because you can go ahead and do it. You can pull sections of your book out, turn it into other products. I do that all the time, and I promote about doing that. repurposing your content for other products and do other things with it. If you have a children's book, you can take those illustrations and turn them into t-shirts and pillows and on mugs or posters or whatever you want to do. If you have a how-to book, you can make how-to training posters that go along with your book, all kinds of things. You own the content. So that's why I like it. Speed to market, it can be done very quickly. Normally it might take you still, the normal process might take you several months. I've done books in a weekend, but several months is a normal process. I'm getting the book laid out, getting it all edited, proofed, and put up. But it moves very quickly, much faster than a regular publisher. So I'm a big fan of self-publishing. It's also free. You don't need to pay anybody to publish your book. Amazon, Lulu, Barnes & Noble, Blurb, they're all free to publish your book on. The costs are taken out of the royalties at the end. You don't need to pay somebody to put the book together, but there's nobody, you don't have to pay anything to publish your book. So that's my take on it. I'm a fan of self-publishing. My books are up. You can see right there, that whole shelf. I have over 50 books right now published in the world. So that's the way to go. Let's see. We have a question. Can you explain what Gumroad is? Yes. Okay. So I've been talking a lot. Let me explain. I'll be showing that. If you can hold on a second, and let me just see who's there. Let me see. Can I get my comments to show up? Yes, I will explain what Gumroad is. I've been touting Gumroad a lot lately because it is a platform that allows you to publish on. I'll show you in just a second my Gumroad, what I'm doing with Gumroad. So, all right, great question, and I will come back to that in just a moment. All right, let's go to, we had a lot of people signing up to the group. There's a lot of activities. Everybody's out there searching around online for things to do. And one of the most, in fact, I'll do the Gumroad. I'll tie it into this question here. Everybody's out there searching. So the traffic on all the sites is up and things are going. And so one of the questions that's coming in a lot of all the people that's joining the group, there's a lot of people who've been joining the group lately, is how to publish. I just sort of wrap them all into one general question. In fact, let me show that one right here. How to self-publish. We'll do that question next. So what I did is I took my all my knowledge and put it into this book, the Self-Publishing Secrets book. And so how to self-publish, it's too hard to sort of give it as one big question, but one big answer to that question. But if you go over to publishingsecretsbook.com, so let me just bring up, if you go right up here to the top of my of the Facebook group, you'll see there's a web address, publishingsecretsbook.com, and that takes you to this site, which is where you can pick that book up. So I'd love if you want to pick this book up, and I've included with it my book launch checklist swipe file, which is right here. I printed these out and just had them spiral bound at Staples, and also the calendar. So you can buy those. Those are there, and you can also pick up down at the bottom down here. This is my self-publishing secrets checklist. Is a little add-on. If you want to put that on, this takes you through all the steps that you need step by step by step to do that. So let me just describe what Gumroad is. Where I'm selling this book, my book, and this is a PDF book that you can download, is on a site called Gumroad. So this is just a little sales page that I put together, and you'll notice you can. I have different options. I have the sort of basic pack. So Gumroad is a place. Let me come out of this for a second. And I'll move this off. So Gumroad is a site that is like electronic bucket, and anything you have in electronic format, whether it's a PDF, a video file, a Word file, a zip file, anything like that, you can put into this bucket, which is called Gumroad. It holds the files, and you can sell them. It's a really, really, really convenient site. There's a video lower down in here that I did on putting a book up, but it's a great way to sort of sell a PDF version like this of your book, or put together a package or things. They host your product. Gumroad is gumroad.com. They host your product. They deliver it. They handle all the e-commerce that's in the background at incredibly, I have the Pro Pack. I think it's $10 a month. They have a free pack. It allows you to put things in very quickly. Let me come back over to here to write. So I just made a graphic of my book, write some sales copy. So it just describes the book. I even put the video. So if you're trying to do the answer to the question of how to publish your book, I put the video that I did recently that's here in the site. I put it right in the page. Let me just do that. Everybody, Bruce Jones here, and welcome to this special video on how to. So that's on the page that you can then go and watch and kind of learn quickly how to publish things. And you can add extra products, just descriptions, and then you can sell your product. So it's a great way to sort of take your books. And this is what I mean by one of the reasons for self-publishing is I have control over my content. I can do other things with it than just sell it. So here I've sort of put together a package where people can get a copy of the book and a few other things. And so Gumroad is just a great site. It's been around for quite a while. I've been using it for a long time. I sell a lot of different products on it. And it just allows you another avenue to sell your books. So I can sell it like through the group, like I'm doing right here. I can put a button on my website and direct people to this page. It's a great little place. So if you have any idea about, and we should probably do a whole thing just on marketing. I'll be doing some marketing later in this. It's a great way to sort of do things with your books, put stuff together so that you can sell your product. So that's what Gumroad is. It's and I sell clip art. I sell different books. I sell my coloring books on here. Everybody is at home now, and I've been having some great sales. I have them right here. They're over there. With my coloring books, selling PDF versions of them. So people can go buy the coloring books and in fact, let me see if I have that. Can I do that right here? Let's see. Let me see if I can show you that. Let me just go to another. This is just another site where I sell my books. So let me just go to here. And here's my coloring book. So I've just put my coloring books on another site that I built a long time ago. This has been out there for a long time. And people can come to this book, to this little ad that I have on the page. So, and then you can buy it on Amazon, or you can click this button and go to the Gumroad page and buy the coloring book. And I've been selling quite a few books lately by doing this. It's a really great way to sort of do more things with your books. So I hope that answers the question of what is Gumroad. But I love it. I think it's a great site to be on. They also pay weekly. Your royalties or your sales come weekly. Nobody else does a weekly sale. So it holds all your content, displays all your content, delivers it all, whether it's streaming, download, whatever it is, and collects all the money and drops it into your bank account. It's sort of a nice little e-commerce package that you can sell. Anything that you can make as a PDF. You take your book as a PDF, you can sell it and use the Gumroad platform. So, all right, let's go to my next question. Hope that answers. Let's see, we have another comment in here. All right, what are your thoughts about self-publishing special limited edition copies? How do you marry that with indie platforms like Amazon? So that's a good, let's see. That's an interesting question. Let me just get this over here. Oh, Melanie's here. All right, Melanie Church Johnson's in the house. In fact, Melanie, if you want to come in, we can talk, do some question Q&As. In fact, do that if you want. Just let me know and I will, we can come into the call. And Samuel, so here's my question. Let me do this. And Melanie, if you want to do it, just comment in the comments and I'll send you the link. So what are your thoughts on self-publishing special? Fantastic. Do it. I think one of the real beauties of self-publishing and why I also like Gumroad is whatever you can think up, you can do. And whatever you can think up, you can sell and you can put out to the world. And I think it's a great, just try it. You just never know. One of the things I've learned about publishing is not to narrow yourself down into a niche. I know people used to always say, you want to be in your niche and get your name in that niche, and you're known for writing books on fishing or whatever it is that you do. I disagree with that completely. I think you write whatever you feel like writing. Just push it out there. The people who will find you in their little niche and won't even know that you write books in other areas. But one of the things I've learned about publishing lots of books is you have no idea what's going to work. It's almost impossible to figure out. And the book that you think, this is just something, I'll put it up there, that's the one that takes off. So I would not put barriers or limits or anything on your on yourself. It's just publish whatever you want. So publishing limited editions, sure. One of the things that Gumroad does is you can put limited numbers of copies that people can download. So you could set that it's only 10 copies or 50 copies and then promote. We only have 50 copies of this special limited edition book. Come and buy it. And that gives sort of that scarcity play that people use when they're selling products. We only have this many of them. You can charge a little bit more. So that's something to, I would 100% support that. Maybe a little tougher to do on Amazon, but very easy to do on a platform like Gumroad that's linked to your website, through your Facebook groups, wherever you're trying to do things, to go ahead and promote that. So I think that's, I would 100% support doing that. So, all right. Hope that answers that question. All right, let's go. Let's see. Okay, so we talked a little bit about self-publishing. You can get everything that you want. Let's see. Let me go back over here. You have to keep, when you're doing this, I'm using StreamYard. I love StreamYard. It's so smooth, but you do have to figure out what you're doing while you're talking and doing your thing. So let's see here. And I think Melanie is going to be joining us. Melanie and her partner Jen have a great publishing platform. So we're going to go into that a little bit because we'll talk to Melanie about stuff. She's getting ready to come on air. All right, let's see here. Question. All right. So I was going to say, how to publish. You can go watch the video that's on the publishingsecretsbook.com. You can download this book if you want. It'll take you through all the steps. It's just an easy way to get all that information. But that video, this video that I have right here, right here, will take you through everything. It's about an hour long. The webinar that I did here on the site, it just kind of walks you through all the steps. So, all right, next question is this way. So we have a question here on who or how is the best way to publish and promote my book. So let's throw that up there. And I'm looking at Amazon. I need to know if there's a better way to get my book out there for a first-time author. So this is a great question. This is one that people often ask. They're always asking when they're starting out, where do I publish my book? So 100%, I would say Amazon is probably the best and easiest platform and place to start. There are quite a few different places out there. I'll just kind of run through them quickly, but let's do this here. But I think for starting out, Amazon, it's free to publish a book on Amazon. You get unbelievable exposure to the world. You have a fantastic sales page where your books are shown. There's a billion other books, but that's the marketplace. It's the first of mine where people go. Where do I get a book? I go to Amazon. They host your product. They deliver your product. If you're doing print on demand like I do all the time, they print. You get an excellent quality. You've seen the books. I mean, here's Herbert O'Keefe's book done up there. The quality is fantastic. Black and white or color, it's hard to sort of beat that. You don't have to do any one-off. There's no inventory. Books are just created as you do it. And you get distributed to the world. Kindle's pretty much every country in the world. Print on demand. Books go to all the major countries in the world. So it's a great place to start. It's also, everybody loves them. They understand them. They know if it's safe, it's secure, all that kind of stuff. So that's probably where I would go first. You can then sort of move out into the world. If you want to go the next step, let's say you want to be in bookstores, that's a key question. I've made the choice just to stay online and sell my books through Amazon, and they deliver everything that way, ebook and print. But if you want to be in bookstores, the choice would be using somebody like Ingram Spark. So that would be the next place to go. And let me just do this here while I'm talking two things at the same time. And let me just put this in here. So we have it. So IngramSpark would be the best place to go. It's also print on demand. There's no inventory. I'm getting all my parts going here. And so there's no inventory. But there are a few little costs. So it's not completely free, but the costs are pretty minimal. So if you want to go to that next step, then IngramSpark might be a place to go. If you're going with a high quality art book or a photo book, Blurb is a really good place to go. It's a little bit cost a little expensive in terms of the person purchasing, but it's free to publish. If you're want a sort of a variety of covers, Lulu.com is is a place to go. I've done some books with Lulu. You want a spiral bound, or you want a saddle stitch book, or you want a wrap, that's a great place to go too. So there's a lot of places to go, but for starting out, for brand new, I would say Amazon is the place that you want to be, and it's a great place to start. Ebook and print. For selling, there's lots of ways to go, and I'll just run through. But if you pick up that package at the publishingsecretsbook.com, I give you my book launch checklist and swipe files in there, which was me. I just recorded everything I did on my last book. But I'll just run through quickly on selling. Social media is a great place to do this. What we're doing right now, live streaming. Well, Melanie's here in the house. All right, so let's get her here. We'll come back. We'll just dive in because Melanie's here. So let's see here. Whoa, look at that.
That's the lights. Wow. Let me change that around.
Good. Are you ready? Are you ready to go? Or should I
give me a second? I didn't realize I was facing up.
All right, I'll step out for a second. Just give me a hand. Just give me a hand thing. We're gonna have Melanie coming in, and when she's ready to go, she's sitting down. She's ready to go. We'll bring her in. Then we'll go back to Q&As. Oh, she looks like she's ready. All right. Here we go. Melanie Johnson, thank you for coming in. Ooh, this is cool.
Hey, yeah, I just thought, you popped up and I thought, I'm going to listen to you. And I had someone who called me yesterday that I thought was a good fit for you. So I'm like, hey, you should watch Bruce's broadcast. I thought, well, I'm going to put it too.
And here you are.
And here I am.
And there you are. So Melanie Johnson and Jen Foster have a wonderful company called Elite Publishing. That's right.
Elite Online Publishing. Yeah, let me make sure.
Online Publishing, where they take authors from start to finish. They handle all the publishing part, all the marketing part, put together the packages, get them out to the world, and turn them into best-selling authors. So they have done. How many authors now have you done?
Oh man, probably somewhere around 150. I think is where we're at right now. Somewhere in there. And Bruce is the one who inspired us that we started to do journals. So little did he know our idea. So we had launched a book and he said, you should really do a journal that goes with that book. Right. So then we got Journal on Fire and low content books on fire. And I think we have over 2,600 low content books on Amazon.
I have 50 books and then I go, oh no. So yeah. But let me just. So one of the questions we had this morning was, in this broadcast, I was talking about one of the reasons for self-publishing is you have control of your content. You own the right. Exactly what Melanie was just saying. If you decide, and it's a great thing to do, is to take and spin part of your book out into a journal or a workbook. You do it. Mm-hmm. There's nobody to stop you, and it gets a great add-on product for your book.
So, and let me address that in a couple other ways. Hold on, I think my internet.
It's like it's coming in and out. Let's see here. Oh, she's freezing. No. We'll see if she's there. So she'll come back in a second. It'll catch up as the internet spins its way around. So being able to use your content and do different things with your content is a great advantage to marketing and to promoting and to selling more books. It makes you have a better package, a complete, bigger package. Let's see here. We have another comment. Well, see if Melanie's going to get that going. Let's see. Hi, Bruce. Love your info. How are you finding StreamYard? I'm loving StreamYard. You just have to kind of figure out. So we're using StreamYard to broadcast on. Melanie sort of froze, and let me take her out of the stream until she's ready. Oh, she looks like she faded up. Maybe she'll come back. All right. Hopefully she'll come back. I love StreamYard. I've used BeLive. I've used lots of different platforms. BeLive was the one I used before. It's also a great platform. I've kind of switched over to StreamYard for a couple reasons. I like this interface. I also, if I'm doing training on InDesign, looks like she's back. She's back. Let's see. Are you back?
Yeah, so on top of that, I had an internet glitch. So, all right, so we were talking about having control of your own content. If you want me to adjust that again.
Yeah. No, definitely. Then I'll come back to the StreamYard comment that we just had somebody come in on.
Okay, so one of the major things, like we run across authors who are they're published with somebody else, and they don't have control of their content. So what happens is they can't republish their book. They can't update their book. And let's say they want to do something like Bruce is saying, make a workbook out of it or something like that. They don't even have their final files. So they're like, hey, we want to become a bestseller. I want to relaunch my book. But guess what? They don't have their cover files. They don't have their final edited manuscript that's been formatted. So they basically can't do anything. And the publisher doesn't let them in the back end. So to create all the things Bruce is talking about, workbooks, PDFs, maybe all this other stuff, you're locked out of the kingdom. Then you can't get any of that stuff. And they tell you, well, guess what? We own the rights to that. And so we're not going to allow you to do that either, even if you did have it.
Right. And it's an important thing just to add on to that, if you're hiring an illustrator, to make sure that you have control, especially with illustrators, because if you just sort of like say, okay, just hire an illustrator, you want to make sure you have control for all different other applications of those illustrations. You may find you can turn them into posters and calendars and mugs and T-shirts, but they only gave you the rights for the book. So you want to make sure that whatever deal you're working on, you have control of all the different pieces of your content. So
absolutely.
So Melanie, talk a little bit. We were talking. Let's see. Some of the questions that were coming in today was agent. So just your take on this is a common one, especially people starting new. Do I go to a regular publisher and an agent, or do I go to self-publishing? And we've answered some of that with the content question, but go a little bit more into that, because that's for you.
Great question. Because I just had a conversation with someone yesterday about, they were like, well, Hay House talk to us. And I said, well, let's walk through all the advantages and disadvantages of that. And one of them, number one, you don't own your content. They take control of the whole thing. But if you wind that back even further, usually you have to get a book agent. So you have to shop that. You have to put time and money into that. It doesn't just happen. They want to be paid too. So you're paying that and putting an investment into that. And so let's say that's going to take 6 months to a year to get an agent to say, I'm going to pick you up. Then they're going to shop your book probably for another year or so, 6 months to another year, to get a publishing house to say yes. It's very unusual. You find one right away. And what traditional publishing houses are looking for is someone with a platform, like, someone who's verified on Instagram, someone who has 1 million followers, someone who has a platform, because if you don't have that, then they're thinking you're not going to be able to sell books. So let's say they think, yes, you are going to be able to sell books. And let's say they write you a check for, I don't know, $10,000, $20,000. But guess what? They're going to say, okay, now what's your marketing plan? How much money are you going to spend on marketing? And basically all that money they just gave you, they want you to spend on marketing. And if your book rolls out and it doesn't go anywhere, then you're going to be another ugly stepchild on their bookshelves. They're not going to promote you. They're not really going to do anything to market your book. So don't expect that. Now, the one advantage of a big publishing house is when you talked earlier about being in those retail stores. So an independent publisher or self-publisher, a bookstore doesn't know the quality of your book. Right? They're not sure what's in the content. They're not sure how it was published. If the covers, they can tell if the cover's great, but they don't know if it's going to be really well done and really well edited. With a traditional publishing house, they have rest assured that they're getting a quality product and that books are going to go off the shelves, because normally they're picking people, again, who have a platform. So you have a better chance of getting that retail exposure. But let me quantify that as retail brick and mortar exposure. So when you publish, like Bruce was saying, he starts out on Amazon, but then you can go to these other platforms where you have distribution to over 40,000 online outlets. And that's just not for your ebook. So that means your book will be available at walmart.com, barnesandnoble.com, kobu.com, anywhere that books are sold online, your book is available and it populates. So to me, you've already, when you think about how many brick and mortar stores are really out there, there's not a lot. And there was a guy that we talked to, he was paying to be in an airport store in a certain region, not all of the Hudson airport stores, only in like a certain demographic region. And he paid $22,000 for 3 months to be there. So
that's a big investment. Yeah.
And how many books are you going to sell?
Right. So one of the things I always tell and you talked about the platform in your marketing is I often say to people is start the marketing the day you start writing the book. We often don't necessarily realize we're even writing a book when we start writing a book.
Mm-hmm.
You need to sort of start your marketing. And so your platform are your email subscribers, your friends and family, your coworkers. If you give speeches and talks and things, conferences, it's those people.
Yes.
It's your Twitter friends, your social, your Instagram people, your Facebook. It's all of that sort of together. So how about just a couple tips on, I'm starting out as a new author. How do I sort of start my marketing to kind of run parallel with my writing journey so that when I get to the point where you're going to be taking on their book or doing their book, now I'm a valuable person to you because I have built this. So talk a little bit about what I should do to kind of get myself started. And I don't have a lot of money. I just want to get started.
Yeah. So and grassroots is the best way. So here's some no dollar ways to really get started. First of all, start having the conversation, letting everybody know about your journey. So you can journal your journey on social media. First of all, say, hey, I'm going to write a book. This is what it's going to be about. What do you think? Start with your cover too. Invest in getting your cover done early, creating that title and subtitle right away. Even in ask the input of people that you are having follow you now, even if it's only 10 or 12 or 15 people, get their input on what they think and say, hey, would you share this and see what your fan base thinks about this title or subtitle? Is this catchy? Is this topic something that you would read about? Gosh, I'm trying to decide between these 3 book covers that I've put together. What do you think? Can you vote on these and give me some input? Then another great way is, so number one, is get that conversation going with the people you already know, your friends, your family, and your social media, even if it's only a few people. Then another thing that's really great is go out there and start joining Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups, especially if it's a business book, and start opening up and being conversational with them, not necessarily about your book, but contribute to that group about your expertise.
Right. So build those relationships with those influencers, or look for people who have bigger audiences than you have, and be nice and kind of pull them into your world, sort of share your stuff and hey, great comment and a little bit more about it or something.
Yeah, like look how I hijacked Bruce's video today.
This is exactly right. This is a relationship. So I have a relationship that goes back a number of years. We're part of the same mastermind group, and so I'm giving Melanie a platform to. So my group we're approaching 5,000 people, and in the How to Publish. So Melanie basically hijacked. So I'm an influencer in my market with my group, and Melanie hijacked it today by just taking the step and coming in and going, I'm here, and we know each other. So that's a relationship that's been built over quite a few years now. Yeah. We also have a community of people that we talk to. This is a perfect example of, right, you didn't just sort of show up and go, hey, I want to talk to you. It's built on, I know you're going to give good information. I know it's going to be presented well, and you have something to offer. So you support what I'm trying to do to my audience. This example of what we're doing is exactly how to handle this. So whether it's via video or somebody's show that you can get on, jumping on someone's podcast, telling them that you're coming out with this book. So there's that costs $0 to do those things and build those relationships. So when your book is ready to come out, then you're already aligning yourself. So, and there's a lot of people who are starting podcasts now. And if you're going to have your book, I mean, we have a podcast, Elite Expert Insider. We're booked 3 months out. So if your book is coming out, then you need to start getting on those lists. So
as you build your trust and your contribution to these groups, and if they have a podcast, then you'll say, hey, listen, my book is coming out. How can I get on your show? I would love to contribute value. Those are the things, contribute and value to your audience to let me be a part of this.
So one of the things that I did when I launched my last book is, because I have this group, I've built this platform for myself. I announced to the group that said, hey, I have a book coming out, and anybody who wants to interview me can interview me. Yeah. So I just said, instead of connecting, I let people connect back to me. I said, I'm here, I'm available. I talk about publishing, anybody that wants to do it. And so I did, I think, 4 of those interviews. During those interviews, and I had sort of softly launched the book on Amazon, put it up there. It went to number 3 in the course of just doing one of those interviews. Wow. So I did it for the Kindle book, and I did it for the paperback book. So I wasn't even pushing it. I was just sharing knowledge to somebody else's audience, and it just went like that. Yep. So you just don't, but just be available. Hey, I'm here, you know?
Yeah. So start thinking about those ways that you can integrate, you know, through social media and talking to people and having those conversations. And, you know, there's other ways to do it too. Another strategy that we have is having a book launch team. So start putting together, I was like inviting people to a wedding. There you go.
There you go.
Book launch checklist. I love that. Yeah.
This was just recording that book launch. I kept a diary, basically a journal of my book launch, and I just wrote it all down, and then just did screenshots of everything that I did for the book launch. And then this is part of the package. If you go to the publishingsecretbooks.com, it's included with this. So look at how we're cross promoting. See how this works?
And you know what I love about you, Bruce, is that Bruce takes everything and doesn't do it just once. Everything turns into something else. Right, you know, it's like you're the king of repurposing, and I wish I was as good at repurposing as you are. I had the idea, but I'm like, dang, you made that into 3 different products. So follow his lead on that.
Right. Well, what you don't realize is we don't know what are the important parts of the books that we publish. So we publish a book. It could be a business book or anything book. I'll just say, this book, but it's a big, thick book. It has a lot of chapters in it, a lot of stuff. We don't know what resonates with our audience. So if we start to pull pieces of that out and sort of say, okay, now I have another, so out of this book, there's a checklist part of that book, but I went and took the checklist, just open it, and expanded it. So this is really a chapter out of this book, and I just expanded it. And you can see in the notes, I'm always sort of updating, added lines, added things to fill in, that kind of stuff. So this is repurposed out of here because I got a sense, okay, I think I can narrow this down and make another product and expand that product, turn it into a journal or a workbook, that kind of a thing. So
it's like a sub-product from your product.
It's a sub-product from your product, and now you can sell them together. You can put them together to be a package. So now you increase the value of your book. And this works great with a lot of the kind of books that Melanie, that you work on, which are business books or positioning books. For you can pull that part of that out and turn it into something else. So
definitely.
So talk a little bit about who are the kinds of authors that you work with. Who are you?
So we have a wide range. So not a wide range. I would say our top end are people who are public figure type people. Like we have someone who's an astronaut, someone who's a weathercaster, someone who's a commentator, someone who's a president of a football team. So that type of CEO type higher level person. And then I'm really proud to say in the last 2 weeks, we launched a book for Heather Ross, who is just starting her digital marketing company. She talk about having a list. So she didn't have a list. So her book launch team consisted of her 4 clients. And then she asked her 4 clients and her former employer. So she asked all of them if they would share her book and promote her book during her team. And I am really proud to say she was a bestseller in 11 categories, international, and 21 hot new releases.
Wow. Just by just by using the resources and the network that she had sitting around her. Basically.
Yeah. And what we did too is we had her do a series of videos. So she needed videos for her Amazon author page. So as she created the videos, and Heather won't mind me saying this because we told her this during the thing, she was very inward, you know,
like an introvert.
Yeah. And she lacked confidence. So she didn't have confidence. So this would be my physical showing illustration of how she was before. So this was her before. And then the week before her launch, she was like, hey, I'm so excited. Like, this is going to be great. And we're going to do this. I was like, you have totally transformed. I said, you are a brand new person through this whole process.
Right. So one of the questions that people ask with doing that is, you know, this is your broadcast production studio. Is that what camera do I use? What microphone do I use? How do I get started? You have it sitting in your hand. This is one of the best tools to use to do this. I'm using StreamYard through Facebook. So this is really a Facebook Live. Everybody has access to, if you have Facebook, which pretty much, if you're going to be in the public, you have it. There's Facebook Live, which is just a button on your page, and just click on that button and you're broadcasting. You can do it through the phone. I'm doing it through the computer. I've gone one step just a little higher because I'm using StreamYard, which just lays on top of it. Gives me the ability to do this, talk to two people at the same time or more. I can do, I think, up to 6.
Yeah.
And I can do things like, this. I can put things on top of it. So I can do that kind of stuff. So the tools are sitting right in front of us. And the thing to think about is this is global. We're doing a global broadcast. And I'm also streaming to YouTube. So I'm doing it to the group and to YouTube. Yeah. Just clicking a button. I have a global audience. So how else can we have a global audience sitting in, Connecticut, in Texas? I think you're in Texas now, or in Michigan? Yep. Where are you today?
I'm in Texas. Yep. I'm in Texas. Yep.
So we're doing a global broadcast to 3 billion people if they chose to join us.
That's astonishing. What do you think about that? Think about how many people are watching the Super Bowl, but we have the same reach capability that you could build an audience of that many. It's crazy.
It's completely crazy. So anything else you want to add here? And then we can wrap up, and I can get back to my
regular scheduled programming.
So let me just before we go, I'm just going to tell you how I come up with the questions, which is like, how do I run a broadcast like this? Which is, so you join my group, or pretty much any group these days, they'll often ask there'll be some questions like, why are you joining? What are you going to do? What do you need? And people will fill them in. So, they just fill them in, and those become the questions that I just turn around and just broadcast back out again. I mean, this is not hard to do, a Q&A program, and let it kind of go where it goes. And then some people will come in with comments. So I can just go like here, I can throw the comment up on, so that's a question I didn't know. I can just say, oh, I'm going to riff, and off I go in that question. And then you're just adding value to your audience, asking questions that are right at top of people's minds today. So it's a great way.
So think about it. We use this as a formula to write a book. So if you're thinking about writing a book and you're wondering, so if you want to live stream like Bruce is, or if you want to do a podcast, or if you want to write a book, and we recommend, like, Bruce is the king of repurposing. So if you're going to do any of those things, make either the stream into a book or the book into a stream. Same with the podcast, and vice versa. Right. So plan it out ahead of time. But a great way to do that, like he's talking about questions, think about the most frequently asked questions you get about your expertise all the time. I mean, literally, if you sit down, set a timer for 5 minutes, you would come up with an abundance of questions that you can just start your show with, or your streaming with, or start writing your book with. So that's my recommendation, is do those frequently asked questions. And then we have the thing, do the should ask questions. If they knew what you knew, this is what you really should be asking.
Right. So we could have easily turned what Melanie and I are doing right now into a book. Like, Melanie could have sent me, and it's so much better when you have somebody to bounce off. You can do it to yourself, but you can bounce off. So she could have sent me, in fact, I did that a couple of days ago with our friend Everett O'Keefe. He sent me a series of questions about his business and what he's doing. I just recently sent the questions back to him, and he responded. It's being recorded. We can transcribe that, get it edited, and now you have a question and answer book on your market. It can be done in one broadcast that's going. Now you have a video content, you have the text of the book, you edit it, add a little bit more stuff, add a bio, add some resources, add what services you have, table of contents. You have a book just like that. So whatever industry you are in, as Melanie says, the 10 questions you get asked the most, the questions people should be asking, do it like this. And now you have the complete marketing package for your book. You can just go, and then add Gumroad in, which I was talking about earlier, for selling it. You can then add a little, you can't, it's hard to stop.
You're challenging me about the Gumroad thing. Should I put stuff on Gumroad? Should I not put stuff on Gumroad? So I'll have to think about that. Well, thanks for having me on, Bruce. I really appreciate it. That was so much fun. It was very impromptu. I was making breakfast for my kids, but I was like, wait, that's why I said I need a couple minutes. I have my lights on, but we're just doing it on the fly.
Cool. Great. Thank you so much. And it adds a lot. And we will talk to you soon. All right.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, that was cool. That was cool. So that's how you can do it. This is how you can do things like this. And then you just take and translate this and do it. Let me come back to let's see, where's one of my questions here? I just wanted to finish the question on StreamYard. So you just got to see StreamYard in action. I was able to, Melanie made a comment. This is why one of the reasons I love it so much. Melanie made a comment in the comments for this video below. I just texted her quick while we're doing this and said, "Do you want to come on?" She says, "Yep, let me get ready." There's a button right down here at the bottom of my sort of dashboard screen where it says invite. So I just did the invite, emailed it to her. I just put it in Messenger in Facebook. And when she was ready, she popped in. It popped in. I clicked and there we were, just like that. So it's clear, good sound. You have a good downloadable video also. I like the video you can download so that you can repost it different places and do things. You can stream to multiple channels. So I think that's that. What was another question over here? We had one, just a comment. Never knew. Thanks so much. Never knew Gumroad had a facility for limited digital copy editions. Yes. So that's a feature they've had for a long time where you can limit, which means you can build scarcity into your product. They've also just added versions and options. And let me just go right here. I just want to show you. This is a new feature that they just put in, and I'm now adding it. You'll notice over here on the side, I can do right here. So depending which option you want, I can put multiple options of products. So you can sort of do an upsell thing and give a base version of a product and another version of the product. So that's all cool stuff that you can do. Great information. Thank you, Bruce. Let me get here. I have multiple screens. If you can see what my screen looks like, that would be, that's from Teresa. Thank you very much, Teresa. And there we go. All right. So let's just go back to a few more questions and we'll wrap this up. How do I find an illustrator? So one of the easiest ways, well, you can look, this is a question, let's put this up here, was how to find an illustrator. And so if you're doing a children's book or a picture book or something, or even just a business book where you need illustrations, where do you go to find that? You can look around where you are. If there's illustrators in your area, you can search in Google for local illustrators in your community. If there's a college near you, there might be a student that can do some illustrations for you. A lot of people go to Fiverr, and let me just show you that right here. Take this off, Fiverr.com, Fiverr. And this is the pretty common place of freelancers to come. And I start here. They've now reorganizing things. You'll see that they have a whole section now for just books. The logo design, they've kind of combined people to do some of these services. So you can explore the marketplace, but I would recommend if you're doing illustrations with someone or doing it is do some test illustrations to find people that you are comfortable with. So make a little assignment and pay. It used to be Fiverr because everything was $5. It's more expensive now, but extremely affordable. So come up with a little test project. Say, okay, I need an illustration of a girl in a playground playing on the swings. And so that's my assignment, and give it to 5 different illustrators that you've sort of picked, and look through and see how they do. How do they follow your instructions? What are the rights they have? Remember, we talked a little bit earlier with Melanie about You want to make sure you have the rights so that you can use those illustrations in other projects. Right? It isn't going to just be your book. You're going to use them on pillows and hats and posters and calendars or wherever it is. You want that kind of a contract with them that allows you to do that. You might pay a little bit more, but it's so much worth it to be able to repurpose things. So Fiverr is a great place to look. There's 99 Designs is another one. You can also look through a lot of the stock houses. I know Shutterstock, which is one of the big stock houses. Let's see here. We'll go back over here. I think it's still doing it. So let's just go to Shutterstock. And I'm just going to search on dog illustration. Dog illustrations. And let's just pick this one right here. Kind of cute little illustrations. And I believe you can, if they'll let me in here. Oh, yeah, right here. So you can go to the author or the illustrator, and very often you can find right here. See their address right there? I can show that up. That's the address. They put these sort of things in here, but you can figure out the address, and you can text them or send them an email and go, hey, do you also do illustrations of dinosaurs or giraffes or whatever it is that you need to do? So that's another way to find. You can search through like Shutterstock. Let's go back to the beginning where we did the dog illustrations. You notice there's all kinds of dog illustrations here. And let's go here. We don't need this. Here we go. Dog illustrations. So there's tons of dog illustrations. These are all done by different illustrators. So maybe you like this one, and you click on it. Look at the artists. They might already have what you want, or they have access to. You can get to that person. So that's another way to sort of find that. So great question. It's a common one when you're starting out doing a kid's book. So that's that. All right. How to self-publish. Remember, I mentioned the easiest way to how to self-publish is go to publishingsecretsbook.com, and you can get access to my book on publishing. This probably gives you the quickest thing. It's $7.95. You can pick that up. Also, just watch this video that's sitting here. That'll take you through the whole process. Kind of do it, and then you can add on a little bit extra. But this is a good, quick 1 hour overview just by clicking on this video right here, and it will give you a quick access to kind of give you that whole hour thought about how to publish your book. And let's go to the last question. I'll just look at any comments that we might have. Does self-publishing cost a lot of money? Well, to publish your book costs you $0. So Amazon is $0. Barnes & Noble is $0. Ingram has a tiny little fee. I think it's like under $50 or something like that. Where you will spend some money is if you need the book laid out. So if you have I'm a graphic designer, so if you had to hire somebody like me to lay your book out, you might spend some money doing that. You probably should spend some money getting your book edited. It's one of the most common questions that you'll see on Amazon is that this book didn't look like it was edited. So I would, if you had to put money somewhere, put some of the money to editing, and you can go and search for editors, an English teacher, a reporter, somebody that's, does a lot of writing. Often will do some side editing on the side. The other place to put some money is definitely in your cover. You want your cover to stand out. You want it to be clear. You want it to be concise and to work as a thumbnail, big and as a thumbnail, because most of us are selling our books on Amazon. What does that mean? Let me just go and let's go over here and we'll just go to Amazon and let's just put in books. Let's just put books on dog books. Because we're just talking about dogs today. So dog books, right? So what I mean by is you want to make sure, this is how we see books now, as thumbnails, so that you can read the cover as a thumbnail. If there's too much information, it's hard to read. So notice these are all dog breed guide. That's pretty clear. You can see that really well. But this one right here, Signs from Pets in the Afterlife, is a little trickier to see what the name of that book is. This title right here is very easy to see. This one's a little trickier. So just you want to make sure that you can read the cover. So that's an important thing on getting your cover design, is that the book is clear and stands out. Big Book of Dog Tricks. The title is very clear, but I can't read really any of this stuff that's on the side right here. So you want to just make sure that you can see it and it's clear and you can kind of do it. So that's the cost. Come back. So spend a little money on editing, spend some money on the cover design, the layout. A lot of people do their books in Word, which you can do yourself. But those are the places where money will come. And you may end up doing a little bit of money spent in your marketing, but you can build your platform. Especially if you start early, you can build that platform and keep that down. So, all right. So I think that sort of covers it. I'm just looking if there's any other comments, questions. We love the questions. Keep them coming. If you're watching this video on YouTube, then hit the subscribe button down there somewhere. If you are and the like button, that really helps spread the stuff out. If you're looking on Facebook, give a like, give a comment. We'd love a comment. Drop a comment in or drop a question in, and I'll try to answer that. We're asking questions all the time. It's how to publish your book, Q&A. All right, we'll see you in the next broadcast. All right.